Up here, we've got the L, LE, XLE, Limited, and Platinum. Now, this is the gas lineup. The L grade will be exclusive to the gas lineup. So when you look at the hybrid lineup, we have LE, XLE, Limited, and Platinum grades. So let's talk about the performance. Now, we didn't talk about gas model last month, but of course the 3.5 liter V6 with 295 horsepower, and that's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And it gets pretty good fuel economy for a gas SUV that can carry 8 people. It's 2027 with a combined rating of 23. Now, part of that improvement in the city gas mileage is going to be all grades will come standard with the start-stop technology that will allow the engine to shut off when you come to a stop, and then of course start instantly when you release pressure on the brake pedal. Now, a common question on that system, not everybody really likes that sensation of the engine shutting off and restarting. So you can turn that feature off if a customer chooses. There is a button on the dash to go ahead and deactivate that feature. However, you will have to deactivate it every single time you start the vehicle. So it's not something that you can turn off permanently. It would just be for that one trip. All-wheel drive models will come standard with multi-terrain select, and you will have a 5,000-pound towing capacity on all V6 models. Now, one of the common questions we get, especially now with the foot-activated power rear liftgate becoming more common on our SUVs, is can I put a hitch on a limited or platinum grade? And the answer is really no, we're not going to allow you to put a PPO hitch on there. I do know that some customers are having them put on. They would have to deactivate the foot-activated sensor for that power rear liftgate because it will not operate, obviously, because the hitch blocks the sensor. So can you get it from Toyota as a PPO? No. Are people putting it on? Yes, they are. Dynamic torque vectoring all-wheel drive. So this was something new with RAV we brought out last year, and this again carries over to Highlander gas model only. It is standard on limited and platinum grades, so you won't get it on any other grades other than limited or platinum. It's not an option. It splits the power 50-50 front to rear when needed, so it works very much like the dynamic torque control that you would get on all the other grades of all-wheel drive Highlanders. But what's unique about this system is based on where the wheels are slipping, we can send power now not just front to rear, but across the rear axle, we can transfer power from side to side. Right? So if the left rear wheel starts to slip, we can send power over to the right rear wheel to gain traction. And this is not only good for inclement weather, low traction scenarios, it's also advantageous when on the highway, dry pavement. When you're going around a curve, for example, it will transfer more power to the wheel on the outside of the turn because that wheel is spinning faster, and it will help you with stability and better control going around the corner. So this is not only a system that helps in inclement weather, it's also going to be something that will be advantageous when you're on dry pavement as well. Now we switch over to the hybrid. So a little review here. Of course, it's the 2.5 liter powertrain that we saw in the RAV4 hybrid, but this has a little bit more performance. So it's 243 horsepower in Highlander hybrid. And you can see the gas mileage goes up considerably. It's 35 across the board. So a big bump in fuel economy. For the first time, we will offer a front-wheel drive Highlander hybrid. So not really that important for our market, but you may have some customers inquire about it. Most of ours will be all-wheel drive. There will be a trail mode standard on the hybrid models instead of multi-terrain select. So that multi-terrain select on the gas models would give you those different settings, whether it's mud, it's snow, sand, rock, dirt, depending on the terrain you're covering. You can kind of customize your traction control system. The trail mode is a similar feature that will operate on only the hybrid models. And while you do lose a little bit of towing capacity on hybrid, grades, you still get 3,500 pounds towing capacity, so that's pretty good for most small trailers, boats, jet skis, small camping trailers. Electronic on-demand all-wheel drive. So that is the system that we use on our hybrid all-wheel drive vehicles, which consists of an electric motor on the rear axle. And that motor will provide power when needed. So it works very much like dynamic torque control, where we'll send power to the rear wheels when needed. But it also acts as a generator under braking and coasting to charge the battery. So we'll have two generators actually, one on the front wheels and one on the rear wheels to charge the battery, and that improves your fuel economy overall. And lastly, here we've got a 10-year, 150,000-mile battery warranty on that hybrid battery. And this is the case with all hybrids for 2020 and beyond. So it doesn't matter if it's a Highlander, a RAV, a Prius, even a RAV4 Prime, you're going to have a 10-year, 150,000-mile battery warranty. And that's going to put most customers' minds at ease, even though they really shouldn't worry, because batteries are designed to last the life of the vehicle. They should never have an issue with the battery. And as any of our warranties go, they are transferable to the next owner as well. So with that, I want to go ahead and switch over to Brian and let him finish up on some of the technology and safety.
All righty, thanks, Jeremy. And technology is really where you're going to impress a lot of Highlander customers. So Highlander getting onto the new TNGA platform gets a lot of new standard technology, including standard safety and Wi-Fi Connect, which a lot of Toyotas have, in fact, pretty much the whole lineup. But CarPlay, Android Auto, so some features that Highlander was missing. Amazon Alexa standard Sirius XM, standard Smart Key push button start on Highlander. And again, this applies to both gas and hybrid models. And also that new backup camera washer feature. So that's the little spray nozzle that'll spray off the rear backup camera lens so that you don't have to manually wipe it off when it gets all covered with road grime. So that's some of the standard tech in Highlander. Some of the available tech includes Remote Connect, Service Connect, Qi wireless charging, that really nice 12.3-inch touchscreen that's standard on Platinum models and available on limited models. Of course, there's navigation. We have the great JBL audio system, 1,200 watts in Highlander. It's extremely impressive. Highlander gets digital rear view mirror, similar to RAV4. Of course, the hands-free power liftgate, Jeremy mentioned it before as it relates to the hitch, but it's a great feature that allows you to, without using the fob, just using your foot under the rear bumper to activate the rear power liftgate. Bird's eye camera and a really nice pano roof is available on Highlander. So let's do a quick poll to kind of keep you engaged. So the first question will be about safety, specifically Toyota Safety Sense 2.0. So what two new safety features are part of the 2.0 package? So your choices are A, B, C, D, blind spot and lane trace, road sign and lane trace. DRCC is dynamic radar cruise control and roadside, or autopilot and DRCC. So a couple more seconds to answer. And as you know, TSS is 2.0 is standard on a lot of new Toyota models. So this not only applies to Highlander, but other models like RAV4, Corolla. So a few more seconds and I'll show you the results. All right, it looks like most people got that correct. The answer is B, road sign assist and lane trace assist. So safety is something you definitely want to talk about with your Highlander customers and all of your Toyota customers, obviously. But because it's the new 2.0 system, you can highlight some of the new features like road sign assist. So that gives you an indication inside the vehicle of things like speed limits, also stop signs. Lane tracing assist, demo that on the test drive. It's a great feature that helps keep the vehicle centered at all times in the middle of the lane rather than just giving you a nudge when you get to the edge of the lane marker. And then finally, full speed dynamic radar cruise. Make sure your customers know that when they use the radar cruise system, it can actually bring them to a complete stop. So if they set a traveling speed and they're following someone, that person in front slows down, obviously their car will slow down, but it can actually slow down and come to a complete stop without them actually having to intervene with foot on the brake. And you can also start back up without even touching the gas. You can touch the gas to resume after a stop, but you can also just hit the resume on the cruise control system. So great standard safety features. You want to highlight these because a lot of our competitors don't offer the same safety suite. Other standard safety includes Safety Connect. So that's that great connected service, again, that you have to enroll customers for. So walk them through the enrollment process. But that's the SOS button, the automatic collision notification, the stolen vehicle locator, and roadside. Standard 8 airbags, another area in which Toyota is typically a leader, number of airbags. Standard blind spot monitoring. Okay, this used to be something that was only on certain trim levels, maybe available as an option. On Highlander, it's standard on every grade. Available safety systems like the clearance zone with park assist and the AFS. The adaptive front lighting system, if you're not aware, actually pivots the headlamps as you make sharp turns. So it gives you a little better view at night around corners to see where you're turning. Of course, Highlander is a top safety pick for 2020, and Star Safety is standard on every Highlander. Okay, one more poll, and this is about the extra cost or the price premium when you buy a Highlander hybrid versus the gas version of Highlander. So how much more is the hybrid Highlander versus gas? Is it $800? Is it $1,000? Is it $1,400 or $1,800? So I'll give you a couple seconds to think about that, and then we'll talk about the extra cost. So that will come up because the MSRP is a little more. And so how do you talk about that with your customer? Typical answer may be go directly to how much am I going to be saving in fuel, because that's what people think about. Hybrid is all about just better gas mileage, and of course that's a big part of the story. So we'll adjust that and we'll talk about other ways in which you can potentially save money. So the correct answer is actually $1,400, which the majority of you selected. And when we look at the value comparison, so let's take the LE trim level, for example, comparing the hybrid version versus the V6 version. So it's a $1,400 MSRP difference. Okay. The MPG difference is 12 miles per gallon, which again, 12 is not as big as the difference we see in some other models, but as a percentage of the actual combined fuel economy, it is pretty big. Compare 23 to 35, right? It's 50% better fuel economy. So another way to think of that is every time you fill up, you're spending 50% less for that fuel. So the fuel cost over 5 years is substantial. The difference is it's over $2,400. So even if you back out that premium that you may have paid up front, you still save over $1,000. So the real story here is the extra you may be paying up front for a hybrid Highlander really isn't extra at all. In fact, the longer you own the vehicle, the more you drive the vehicle, it actually becomes a benefit. You're saving money over owning the V6 version. So a lot of customers will like to hear that. It's basically over a short term, it's a wash. Over a longer term, you're actually saving quite a bit of money on fuel alone. And as we've discussed in the past, you also save money in other ways, one with less maintenance, right? Especially on the braking system. So you won't be replacing brake pads as often. You're going to save money there on labor and parts, obviously. But also you'll be saving on time. I'd always mention the convenience of owning a hybrid. Fewer trips to the gas station, less visits for maintenance and repair because of the simplicity of the hybrid system. So just to summarize both gas and hybrid, let's start with the gas. So Highlander, with this generation, moved to the new TNGA platform, which is all about lightweight, low center of gravity, rigid body, great for crash. So every aspect of the vehicle, dynamics and safety and handling has been improved. It's a great balance of power and fuel economy on the gas model. The available dynamic torque vectoring all-wheel drive, as Jeremy went over, is a great feature on our Platinum and Limited models. These new Highlanders are just loaded with technology, including things like that really large touchscreen. Safety. Concentrate on safety when you're talking to your customers. Everyone likes to know that the vehicle is safe. Let them know that Toyota leads the industry in standard safety with things like TSS 2.0, Safety Connect, a number of airbags, and the standard blind spot monitor is really big now. Everyone appreciates that system. So with the Highlander gas model, you get a lot of technology, a lot of content, and high value in a very premium vehicle. When you drive some of the competitors in the segment, it's not quite as premium. They don't have quite as many features, certainly not as many standard features as you get in Highlander. And of course, you're getting the QDR of a Toyota. And on the hybrid side, even though it's the 4-cylinder system and not the V6 hybrid as we've had in the past, the performance, the off-the-line acceleration is very comparable to most V6s in the segment because of the instant torque you get from the electric motor system. The all-wheel drive, that system that's in the hybrids that uses the rear electric motor, is available on the new 20 Highlander hybrid. Battery warranty. When customers are considering hybrid, one of the questions they'll have is about the battery. How long does it last? How much does it cost to replace? Right up front, talk about the best battery warranty in the industry, which is that 10-150 warranty. So again, with the Highlander hybrid, you get all that standard safety and additional available safety or technology, and then the safety is standard, so those things we just talked about. And of course, one of the major selling points of a hybrid system is the savings on fuel, but don't forget about the savings on time. So the convenience, and then of course it is going to have fewer carbon emissions because it burns less fossil fuel and puts out less emissions through the system.